I know it's preseason and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I think we are finally starting to see the Ruben Amorim blueprint for Manchester United. If you've watched my content in the past, you know I don't really care about results when it comes to preseason. What I'm looking for is a foundation. I want to see what Ruben Amorim is looking to do with this group of players that is going to help them be successful in the 25-26 season. And although, yes, winning 4-1 against Premier League opponents is always nice, even if it is just preseason, I'm really enjoying the principles and the style of play that I'm seeing from Manchester United. So we had to drop a video analyzing the game, what exactly United were doing on and off the ball that made them successful and helped them win 4-1. So grab your espresso, grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever your choice of beverages. But before we get into it, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you who liked and commented on the previous video. It means a lot to me and it really helps the channel grow. So if you are enjoying the analysis, if you are enjoying the content, please remember to leave a comment. I always want to hear everyone else's opinions. That's what this channel is for. And subscribe if you are enjoying the content. And remember to hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. The preseason is flying by and we are very close to match day 1 against Arsenal, so the content is only going to continue. But let's get into what Ruben Amorim was looking to do against Bournemouth and their 4-1 win. So there were a few things that were interesting to me when the team sheet came out. Obviously, Matheus Cunha was feeling some fatigue, so he didn't start. Mason Mount started in his position. Amad Diallo got to play in that right 10 position. Diogo Dalot played wingback with Patrick Dorgu. Midfield of Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, and a back three of Lenny Euro, Harry Maguire, and Luke Shaw, with Tom Heaton in goal, who I must say is strongly making a case for starting against Arsenal match day 1. So when I say Ruben Amorim's blueprint for Manchester United, what exactly do I mean? Well, for me, it's quite simple. As you can see in this clip here, this is the first goal that Rasmus Højlund scored to make it 1-0. This comes from a throw-in from Diogo Dalot, and Ruben Amorim has been preaching physicality. He said it ever since he joined that the physical level needs to raise if this team wants to have any success in the Premier League. So as I've highlighted here, you can see Mount in a 1v1 duel. He does well to hold off the defender who has stepped out to go and engage him. You see on the top of your screen, Dorgu 1v1 isolated. I thought once again he was brilliant. This is a good situation to have him in. You want him in those 1v1 situations. And I want you to keep an eye on Rasmus. Here he is 1v1 isolated with a center half. This is a really good position for Manchester United to be in. So Mount does a really good job of shielding off the midfielder and getting the ball out wide to Dorgu, who, like I said, was isolated 1v1. But it doesn't just stop there for Mason. The decoy run to drag the fullback, which is what he does brilliantly. I think although there is still room for improvement for Mason to help United on the ball, I think his work off the ball, even when United are in possession, and the selflessness to make that decoy run so Patrick Dorgu can get some space in the half space, and he whips in a brilliant ball. But I want you to notice Rasmus here. A lot of times I haven't necessarily loved Højlund's positioning in the 18, but here he does a really good job of getting goal side to the center half. And just like that, Manchester United are up 1-0. Another thing I wanted to highlight, which I've been analyzing quite closely when watching United throughout this preseason, is I'm interested to see their shape off the ball. How compact are they? Where are the wingbacks when in settled possession defensively? How tight are the midfielders? What is the spaces in depth between the back three and the two midfielders in front of them? Well, as you can see highlighted in this picture, look how narrow they are. You have Rasmus very tight to Bruno. You have Casemiro sitting just in front of Maguire and Shaw. And then you have Mount ready to jump and press the other center half if the ball gets played to the right side. You also have Dorgu on the top of the screen ready to jump the Bournemouth right back if the ball is switched. But you can just see how compact they are in this picture. Obviously, in this screenshot here, you can't see Diogo Dalot, but it's very compact. And I've spoken about this in previous videos. I think Ruben Amorim has done a really good job of drilling the idea that United need to be compact off the ball. When it comes to defending, especially against teams that are going to have a lot of possession, United need to do a good job of ensuring that those teams can't progress centrally. If they want to go and play around that block, that is completely fine. So that was United's deep block. Very compact, very difficult for an opposition to be able to play through the lines. Essentially, Ruben Amorim is telling any manager that comes up against him, if you want to create chances, you're going to have to go around us, which is difficult with the wingbacks. So I've seen a lot of talk on social media, on listening to podcasts, that Ruben Amorim is not adapting. He is not interested in changing. He has one way of seeing football, and he's going to stick with what he knows, and that's it. Well, I noticed in the game there was a pattern, and it was quite interesting to me. Look at Manchester United's shape here in the mid block. You have a front two of Rasmus Højlund and Mason Mount. They are extremely narrow. Rasmus is denying any progression through midfield, so the ball can't be played to that holding midfielder in that space. Ahmad's ready to jump to the fullback once again if the ball is played out there. Bruno and Casemiro quite narrow and tight. Casemiro ready to jump if necessary. Bruno also ready to make that jump. And again, if the ball gets played wide to the right center half, Mason is ready to step out to him and press. He's a very willing runner off the ball, which is why I think Ruben Amorim loves him so much. And the entire block would shift. Again, this is very different to what we've seen in Ruben Amorim's system last season, where essentially the back three becomes a back four with Luke Shaw and Diogo Dalot as the fullbacks and Harry Maguire and Lenny Euro as the two center halves. You have the midfield two of Casemiro and Bruno. You have your two wide players in Ahmad and Dorgu, and then you have the narrow front two, like I said, of Mason Mount and Rasmus Højlund. In my opinion, he has made it very obvious and very clear that he is willing to adapt and that he knows he needs to adapt if he wants to be successful. Let's talk about some of the principles on the ball that Manchester United are looking to implement. Now, a big topic of conversation has been, what are United looking to do in build-up? I'm still hearing how frustrated people are with the center half inverting into midfield from goal kicks, and I completely understand. But once again, I got to tell you, Ruben Amorim does not care about central progression. His idea of progression is getting it wide and going direct as quickly as possible. However, once again, he is making some tweaks and changes. A pattern or a theme, if you will, in this game was getting the ball out to Euro as quickly as possible when building. Euro is really growing into a good ball carrier from the right center half spot. I thought he had a lot of success last season in the left center half spot with carrying, and he's only going to get better and better. I made a video about how I think Bruno can work in the midfield pivot, but you have to be very diligent in which midfielder you play beside him. I think if you can bring in a pure ball-winning midfielder, it would really complement and it would really platform Bruno to the best of his abilities. So as you can see in this clip here, again, Lenny Euro carrying the ball. He's inviting pressure. Look where Bruno is. Bruno is essentially in line with Euro. He's waiting for the ball. He is the deepest of the midfielders. You can see in the picture, Casemiro is above him. And I think this is a good idea. You want Bruno as close to the ball as possible when building. So what happens here? Euro plays a great ball out to Bruno, and Bruno's aware that he's being pressed. So instead of taking a bunch of touches on the ball, he's very confident in playing that ball around the corner to Ahmad, and his first thought is to attack that empty space that has been vacated because he's now being pressed. Again, I don't think Bruno gets enough credit for how intelligent of a footballer he is. He knows once again he's going to get pressed from the other midfielder that's coming into cover, and he decides he's going to let it run for Casemiro. He is impacting the game at this point without even making contact with the football. Mason Mount drops in deep, again inviting a defender to come and mark him, which again, you guessed it, is leaving some space for Bruno to run into. And you can see Bruno has essentially beat an entire press without really having many touches on the ball. And you can see the amount of grass and space he has to run into. This is essentially what Ruben Amorim is looking to do from build-up. Whether it is hitting the channels, and we are going to be dropping a striker video tomorrow. So once again, remember to hit the bell notification so you don't miss it. But he's either looking to hit the channels as quickly as possible and win those second balls, or he's looking to build quickly from his two wide center halves. This was a great example of what Ruben Amorim is looking to do from build-up. So we saw what quick passing and quick rotations can do for Manchester United in build-up under Ruben Amorim. But like I said before, this isn't the only way he looks to build. As you can see in this clip here, again, as I said before, the theme was get the ball to Euro as quickly as possible, because Ruben is very confident in not only his ball carrying ability, but also his ability to play diagonal passes into the front line quickly and precisely. He fizzes a great ball into Rasmus. He splits the press. He sees Rasmus dropping deep into that space to come and collect. Rasmus does really good and creating that separation from himself and his defender. And here you can see what a confident Rasmus Højlund can do. Not too many touches. He turns his defender. And once again, you have that Dorgu 1v1 isolated. You have all that space for Højlund if he wants to continue to carry. And it's just a really good position for Manchester United to be in. And this all comes from one diagonal pass from Lenny Euro to the striker. This, in a nutshell, is what Ruben Amorim is looking to do. He wants United to be the most physical side on the pitch every single time they play. He wants them to press, he wants them to run, he wants them to win duels, and he wants them to be as quick as possible in build-up as they can to break through any kind of press that the opposition may be using in that specific game. So again, for me, this is not about being super excited that Manchester United won 4-1 in a preseason game. For me, it's about identifying the tactical principles that Ruben Amorim is implementing to this United side that is going to help them be successful this upcoming season. I may also remind you that this performance was without Matheus Cunha, without Bryan Mbeumo. Manchester United are heavily linked to a striker, which we are going to be dropping a video on tomorrow. So the signs are there. The style of football is really starting to show. Finally, who would have thought in a preseason where he got the time on the training ground, United are starting to look like they're actually buying into Ruben Amorim's ideas. I want to say I'm cautiously optimistic for the start of the Premier League season, but the reality is I'm just really excited. That is it for this one. I really appreciate everyone who's been tuning into the videos. Like I said, your support means the world to me. It means the world to the channel. Once again, if you are liking the content, remember to subscribe and let me know in the comments. What were your thoughts on the game? What have your thoughts been on the past few games? Do you think Ruben Amorim is building this team to be what they need to be for the Premier League season? Or are you of the opinion that it's just preseason, so it doesn't really matter? That is it for this one, though. I appreciate everyone watching. Until next time, peace.